Bu bir ay önce yayınlanmış çok rahatsız edici terk edilmiş bina kamerada yakalandı görüntüleri bunlar. Hemen kürdan alıp geliyorum abi, amına koyayım, ağzım yemek oldu yani.
There been students or teachers at the school and talked about how incredibly sad it was to see their beloved childhood school ruined by abandonment and lack of maintenance. A little after 10 minutes into the exploration, you can hear some sort of ruffling sound and other strange noises coming from somewhere in the schoolhouse.
Benim burada olmamı kontrol edebilirsiniz istediğiniz zaman ama ağzımda mevzu olacak.
What is that?
Ne oluyor? Niye ışığı kapadın amına koyayım, görmeyek diye mi?
Do you hear that?
Şerefsiz la. Ne oluyor? Amına koyayım, ne oluyor?
Somebody's here. As Chris turns a corner in the hallway, another person's flashlight can be seen shining down the hall. It looks to be just one person who was likely either another urban explorer or a squatter. Still, at 1 a.m. in an abandoned building, it's obviously best to avoid drawing unwanted attention to yourself.
Gece 1'de içinde yabancı olan bir binaya giriyorsunuz. Gece 1'de terk edilmiş bir binaya 100 liraya. Girer misiniz?
Especially when
100 liraya.
you don't know the other person's intentions, which is why Chris ultimately decided to run instead of making his presence known. Making sure to walk in the other direction to avoid running into anyone, he then heads to the library and explores the rest of the top floors. As he goes into the bathroom on the top floor, he has another encounter.
Girilmez oğlum, hasta mısınız ya? Ananın amı! Oğlum.
Somebody's in there. Scared the out of me. Oh man.
Oğlum T-pozda duruyor mu, git bak.
At the far end of the bathroom, what appears to be a human silhouette can be seen standing completely motionless. After the initial shock of the encounter, Chris draws his gun and goes back inside to confront the man.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Oh.
Oh, it's a f***ing toy.
Düştü ama. Manken bro.
Oh my god, that scared the out of me. As it turns out, the silhouette was actually a scary mannequin that somebody set up, probably to scare away visitors. What's most eerie is that even though we can't know for sure how long the mannequin had been standing there before the footage was shot, for some reason it fell forward just in time for Chris to see it, the most reasonable explanation being from the sound waves bouncing off the wall. Most people would have left as soon as they saw the mannequin, but Chris continued to explore the rest of the school, seemingly unmoved by the horrifying experience he just went through. Though not before clearing the entire rest of the bathroom. Sadly, some of the rooms in the school are filled with
books. Bu arada bir
books.
şey diyeceğim ama altıma sıçardım arkadaşlar. Tam sonradan kolpa olduğunu görüyorsun, işte mankenmiş diyorsun ama bir de içeri girerken de düşecek, ben uzun süre kurardım kafada.
Whiteboards and other perfectly usable materials that could have been donated to another school before the building was abandoned. But nobody seemed to care enough to give them away before the school was abandoned. About half an hour into the visit, Chris climbs up to the roof, which in itself is pretty risky. Even if you don't care about getting caught by the cops, there's still a very high risk of the roof caving in, especially considering the state of the building when the footage was shot. Fortunately, he was able
to
climb down safely, but that's when a strange noise could be heard coming from the other end of one of the hallways. Safe is still here. I wonder what's in it.
Bu ne la? Bir şey var la, yürü üzerinden buna koyayım. Bir şey yürüdü oğlum solda. La yürü
As
lan
Chris
üzerine.
explores one of the rooms, a strange howl can be heard in the distance, and as he raises his camera, you can clearly see a shadow moving behind the door at the far end of the room.
Abi geldi.
By this point, it's pretty clear that not only are multiple other people in the building with him, but now he's possibly being stalked. Once again, Chris draws his gun and prepares for an encounter, but he doesn't find anyone in any of the rooms. After this, he admits he's ready to call it a night and decides to head home,
Oğlum,
but not before
olsa-
this final encounter.
This place is weird as hell. Oh, here it is.
Ne oldu abi?
This place is crazy.
Ne oluyor abi?
I remember the last time I explored it. Hello?
He? He had?
Hello?
He had?
What? Okay, I know I heard somebody coming down these stairs. I'm out.
As he struggles to find his way out of the school, the sound of footsteps can be clearly heard on the stairway directly above Chris's head. But after running up and calling out to see if he gets a response, nobody acknowledges him. Luckily, he was able to walk away unharmed and has continued to
Kanka
upload
bir şey
videos
diyeceğim
of his
ama yani
visits to
adam
abandoned
korkunç
places
şeyler
pretty
yaşamış ya, ben
frequently.
korkardım yani. Bunları yaşasam.
The Proper People is an urban exploration channel owned by Brian and Michael, two friends who travel the world in search of abandoned buildings. For the past 10 years that their channel has been active,
Orada
Brian and
falan
Michael
iyi.
have built up a reputation for being a trustworthy channel that only uploads genuine footage of their explorations. In a niche of YouTube that's often plagued by cheap, fake footage from people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, The Proper People has endured as one of the most reliable channels in the urbex space.
Arkadaşlar bu adam en güvenilir böyle terk edilmiş mekan arayan adamlardan biriymiş. Piyasada namı varmış.
They gained their fame from explorations of genuinely cool places instead of faking creepy encounters or anything of the such. In 2016, they uploaded a video of their nighttime visit to the Jemison Center in Northport, Alabama, often referred to as Old Bryce Hospital. From 1939 to 1977, the Jemison Center housed hundreds of psychiatric patients and acquired a reputation for treating them pretty harshly. Often referred to as the creepiest building in Alabama, Old Bryce was closed in the late 70s and has since been reclaimed by nature and become a hotspot for urban explorers from all over the world. As Michael and Brian approach the location in their car, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and after driving around the grounds for a while, the two YouTubers get out of their vehicle to begin exploring, settling on the basement as the first area to explore.
Önce
After more than 4
Bodrum'dan
decades of
başlayan orospu
abandonment, the entire
çocuğudur ya.
complex is almost completely destroyed, and while some of the walls are completely
Hayvan
covered in
mısınız
all
oğlum?
kinds of graffiti, some of them aren't even there anymore. With the state of disrepair of the Jemison Center, there's always a chance that the structure could collapse on itself and trap Brian and Michael inside. But as they go up the stairs to explore the top floor, it becomes clear that an unsound structure is the least of their worries.
Whoa, look at this. Look at this staircase out here. Oh. There's somebody there.
No way.
Yes, I see their light. They're out there. I
Geldiler.
swear on my life. Right there.
Neye bakıyoruz? Gören var
Should I
mı?
say hello?
Yeah.
There's somebody out there.
Oğlum hello desene adama. Bir head.
Let's go back to the car. This way. If it's somebody wanting to talk to us.
Let's go to the car now.
Oh yeah.
Ben bir sik göremedim ama.
As the camera pans to the window, the outline of a person holding up a light can be seen on the staircase on the opposite side of the building. Disturbingly, as soon as the uploaders turn off their light, the other person does the exact same thing, indicating they were watching and didn't want to be spotted. Chillingly, if you rewind the footage to when the YouTubers arrived at the top floor, you can clearly see a light outside the window frame, but it's unclear if the light was coming from the same person who was watching them. After calling out and receiving no response, Brian and Michael decide to go back to their car to avoid getting jumped or worse. It's hard to know what exactly the intentions of the other person were.
Asıl korku burada yaşayan bir evsizin seni bali parası için bıçaklaması yani. Hani cin min halledersin yani onu ama bir bıçaklı bir baliciyi halledebilir misin onu bilmiyorum ya.
But what's even more disturbing is the fact that there were no other cars in the area when they arrived and when they left, which means that whoever was there had arrived on
Cin
foot
halledilir
and
abi.
probably been there for a while. Ridgely Hospital was a women's psychiatric hospital in Lancaster,
Doğru, bir
UK,
dakika.
that operated for almost
Kesenize
100
bereket.
years from 1916 to 2013. Famous for being one of the first psychiatric hospitals in the UK that fought for the humane treatment of mentally ill patients, Ridgely Hospital housed thousands of patients and used modern treatment methods such as electroconvulsion therapy to help patients with a range of disorders, from severe depression to obsession to mania. In April 2022, YouTuber Exploring with Tom visited the site with 3 of his friends in the middle of the night.
Bebeler tam
Throughout their visit,
tokatlık.
they were extremely loud and not aware of their surroundings, which is obviously not the best idea when exploring an abandoned building. Keep in mind that most of these abandoned buildings are still considered government property, which makes it illegal to trespass and explore the grounds. Still, if you disturb a hostile squatter's home by being obnoxiously loud, getting arrested would probably be the least of your worries.
I'm not scared of you. Oh yeah, well I am scared of you.
I think someone is doing that, to be honest with you.
What the?
After hearing some strange noises coming from one of the rooms, the 4 explorers call out to see if there's anyone in the building.
Oğlum 4
And this is where
kişisiniz ya.
things get a little disturbing.
Hello? What?
Lan niye kaçıyorsunuz adam hello dedi işte.
Everyone okay? Everyone okay? Keep calm. Keep calm. Keep... Man! What the
Kovalıyorlar lan.
Get out! Get out! What you want?
Oğlum,
He's right there! He's right there!
oğlum ne soy boy çıktınız ya. 4 kişisiniz ya.
As soon as one of the teenagers calls out, a man can be heard screaming from inside the room. Without thinking twice, Tom and his friends make a run for it back to their car. But disturbingly, the man isn't satisfied with just scaring them out of the building and ends up chasing them all the way to their car. It's unknown who the man was or what he wanted from them, but one of the theories that's been echoing in the comments is that he was probably a homeless person who got upset at the amount of noise Tom and his friends were making. It's probably not too pleasant to have 4 rowdy teenagers
ne
burst
güzel
into the
kafasını
abandoned
dinliyor
building
hacı
you
ya.
call your home and start yelling, laughing, and swearing. But still, it's good they were able to get away unharmed.
Bebe la bunlar. Arkadaşlar next'e geçmiyorum. Şimdi diyorum ki şu hikayeleri okuyalım. O zamana kadar hava kararır. Of. Reflü nasıl vurdu? O zamana kadar hava kararır. Ondan sonra da oyunlarımıza geçeriz. Okey. Videoyla da tam perfect denk getiriş yapmış olalım. Şimdi bir dakika. Benim size ekran göstermemem lazım.